Happy Wednesday. Go Wednesday. It's Wednesday. What's up? What's up, my little babies? Um, it is Wednesday, and we're still talking about text features. Okay, yeah, I'm done. Sorry, y'all. I had something going on for a second, but I'm good. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and begin. You guys know what I say every day if you watch the videos. This is the time where you do the PDN by yourself. If you have not done the PDN, I want you to stop it and do the PDN and then come back and go over it with me together. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get it started. Hey, let's get it started. Hey. Okay, y'all probably don't know that song, but anyway. So it says, read the nonfiction text features and answer the questions that follow. So this text feature that I see is table of contents, and I can see how it talks about the topics with the number of pages that it's on. It says, what does the table of contents show about how this book is organized? A, it emphasizes the butterfly's life cycle over their adaptations. B, it groups chapters by different facts about butterflies. C, it concentrates mostly on the butterfly's habitat. Or D, it groups chapters by butterflies' adaptations. Okay, so let's go ahead and eliminate, because I know that these words are kind of big, but it's easy when you eliminate the obviously wrong answers first. I'm going to obviously eliminate C, because as you can see, the chapters do not just talk about the habitats. It talks about several things: the life cycle, the types, the habitats, and the adaptations. And I can also eliminate D because the topics don't just talk about the adaptations either. That's only on page 17. So now we're between A and B. Does the topics emphasize the life cycle over the adaptations? No, I don't think so, because all of them are important to the book. But it does group the chapters by different facts about butterflies. It talks about the life cycle, the types, the habits, the adaptations, okay? So I know that B is my correct answer because the topics talk about the different facts. If you didn't get that one right, it's like you have to just concentrate on what the question is actually asking you. Okay, next. Why, this is a why question, does the author include the headings in this text? So here are the headings. We have helpful ants and we have types of ants. This is not a heading. Sorry, y'all. This is the title. It's not the heading. Okay, so don't get confused. Why would an author include the headings? To give the reader information about how ants live, to give the reader background information about ants, to give the reader a detailed account of an ant's life, or to give the reader an idea of what each section will be about. So I'm going to automatically eliminate A because nothing in the text talks about how they live, right? The first heading talks about how they're helpful. The second heading talks about the types of ants. The next one I can eliminate is C. It doesn't give a detailed account about the ant's life. And then I know that D is the correct answer because a heading is always going to tell you what each section is going to be about. Okay? So hopefully you guys got those two questions right. If not, then that means that we need to do a little bit more studying on text features. Now let's move on to our vocabulary word work. We're going to go over this fast because we've been going over this all week. A root word does not have a prefix or a suffix added, right? And we know that root words are from different languages and they help us find the meaning of new words. So first word we had was antisocial. Yesterday our word was semicircle, which is half of a circle. Today we're talking about aqua. Aqua is a Latin root. And rheum, I know that sounds funny, is the root word. Aqua means water. Rheum means building, right? Building or home. Okay, so when we put aqua and rheum together, it creates the word aquarium, right? What is an aquarium? An aquarium is a home used to store water for pets, like fish, or a home for fish, right? Stored with water. Okay, all right, good. And so let's go ahead and create the sentence. Jeremiah put his new fish in the aquarium. Okay, and so what are some synonyms for the word aquarium? Fish bowl, right? And then a regular antonym would just be bowl, right? Okay, because a fish bowl has water, a bowl doesn't. All right, so how do we know that this picture is an aquarium? As you can see, the aquarium is filled with water and it has a fish. So I know that this image shows an aquarium because it is a home for fish filled with water so they can survive. Okay, good. Now again guys, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video and catch up. I'm going fast so that we can get because this part is like easy. So let's get to our board equals paper. So guys, as you can see, the text features that we learned about are up here already. We're going to talk about two more text features, which are charts and diagrams, right? These are very important text features because you'll see them in a lot of articles, and they give you additional information about like numbers and years and dates, right? So let's just quickly go over the ones that we've already talked about. Title, of course, is the name of the text and is usually in big black letters, okay? I'm going over this fast because we talked about this for 2 days already. Table of contents is the list of parts in the book or document in the order that you will read them, okay? A caption, of course, are words describing a picture, graph, or chart. A heading is a short line or phrase explaining the paragraphs of the passage. Okay, and then lastly, the text box, of course, is a box that gives us additional information. And then one thing that I forgot to add in here, let me add insert a row below, is our bold words, right? And we know that the bold words are words that are darkened, followed by the definition. Okay? Good. So now, guys, we're going to talk about two more pieces of text features. This next one is charts. I want you to look at this image. This is a chart, right? And a chart, I know that you guys, a chart is the same thing as a graph. And this is how when reading and math begins to overlap, because a graph in math has an x-axis and a y-axis, right? And like the x-axis usually gives you some type of information, and the y-axis gives you another information, a piece of information. In reading, this is called a chart. In math, it's called a graph. Okay. So a chart is a I'm sorry, I had drew a blank. I'm sorry, y'all. A chart is a kind of text feature that uses, I'm going to underline this, rows and columns. Now, when we talk about rows, of course, the rows are the x-axis and the columns are the y-axis, right? Okay, good. And it talks about a topic and it gives information about the topic. So charts, graphs, diagrams, they help readers understand information in a visual way. Okay? Alright, and then a diagram is similar to a chart except it gives it doesn't really give numbers. Charts gives us numbers and data. Diagrams, it gives us words and it kind of explains things a little bit more. So a diagram is a drawing or a series of drawings that explains an idea, a process, or how something works. Okay? And it sometimes includes words as labels or descriptions. It also may include arrows or numbers to show the order in which things happen. Okay? So, charts and diagrams. We're going to mostly focus on charts today. So, let's go ahead and move on to our model. Okay? Now, in order to understand this text, we have to read the text together. And so, we're going to read and we're going to mark up the text. This is an informational text, so while we're reading, we're going to be picking out the topic. And we're also going to be underlining what the important information that gives us about the topic. Okay? So, let's go ahead and start reading. The first residents of Utah. So residents of Utah, I know, must be the topic. And residents means people who live there, right? So they're talking about people who live in Utah. The first residents of Utah were Native American hunters and gatherers. Later, other groups of Native Americans moved into the area, including the Ute, for whom the state was named. Okay? And so they're talking about these groups of Native Americans that moved to the area. 2 Spanish missionaries explored the area in 1776. That's the date, so that's important. But when mountain man James Bridger and Jedediah Smith arrived about 50 years later, they established trading posts and started a fur trade. In 1847, the Mormons began to arrive in large numbers. So that means that a lot of them came to Utah. And by 1860, about 40,000 Mormons had established themselves in the state. They continue to prosper, and today Mormons make up almost 70% of Utah's population. So population, we know, is the number of people that live there. Okay? Good. So now, guys, let's look at the graph, the chart. Okay? And let's go ahead and label. So this is our chart. Remember, we always label the text feature. Okay? This is our chart. This here is the title of the chart. We know that the chart is telling us about the population of Utah. That means the number of people that live there over the years. And so we have the y-axis and we have the x-axis. The x-axis is giving us the years. Okay? The y-axis is giving us the number of people. Okay? So here I can see in 1850, there were about 11,380 people. Then it went up. So when we go to 1900, the population increased to 276,749, which is a huge increase. Then it continued to go up. Here, we're in 1950.